guys, and welcome back. Well, after a brief delay on yesterday, the man accused of plotting to have his nephew murdered for an insurance payout took the stand on his own defense today. Yes, we're talking about James Timothy Tim Norton, and he denied any involvement in the 2016 murder of his nephew, Andre Montgomery Jr. Now, the defense attorney, which is his attorney, asked him, "Did you have anything to do with the murder for Andre Montgomery?" He said, "No, sir." Norman claimed he didn't know who gunned down his nephew until summer of 2022 when the trigger man pleaded guilty. Now, Tim Norman is the son of Robbie Montgomery, who founded Sweetie Pies in 1996. Now, Norman was a co-owner of some of the restaurants by 2015 and 2016. Now, the Montgomery family started in the reality show Welcome to Sweetie Pies, produced by Oprah Winfrey's network. Now, on the stand, Tim recalled his upbringing and working for Sweetie Pies. He'd been a manager since 2010, working between 15 and 16 hours a day. The show began filming that year. In 2011, when the show premiered on TV, Norman became manager of the Mangrove location on Manchester Avenue in Tower Grove. Now, Norman estimated he made at least $55,000 in revenue each week. Yeah, you heard me right. Each week from the restaurant, store, merchandise, and ATMs he operated. Now, Andre Montgomery moved to St. Louis from Texas to finish high school. He lived with his grandmother at the time. Now, Tim told the court he tried writing Andre into the show as much as possible and mentored him. After he graduated high school, Andre moved back to Texas. However, Andre came back to St. Louis half a year later. Now, Tim said Andre had issues in Texas and felt it would be better for him in St. Louis. Now, Andre moved back in September 2014, and Norman set him up with an apartment at the same building he was living in, just a couple of doors down on the same floor. And Norman paid for his apartment. Wow, Tim is a great guy. Back to the story. Andre Montgomery Jr. was shot and killed in the 3900 block of Natural Bridge Road just about 8 p.m. on March 14, 2016. He was only 21 years old. Now, in addition, Tim said he pulled strings and paid for Andre to attend Nelly's music producer school, the Extreme Institute. He provided Andre with transportation to and from the school and let him use his own vehicles at the time. Now, Tim also gave Andre a daily allowance. Now, Tim contacted his insurance agent, Wally Yogman, to acquire a policy for Andre. Now, according to Tim, Yogman met with Andre on October 7th, 2014 to ask the young man questions for an insurance application. Now, Tim understood he'd be the owner on the policy and that he'd be responsible for paying the premiums. He said he didn't want Andre to know he could pull money out of the policy for personal use. Now, in the spring of 2015, Andre stopped going to work and dropped out of the Institute. Now, Andre moved out of the apartment Norman had been paying for in mid-2015. Norman said the family cut off Andre financially after that. Now, by June 2015, Norman moved to LA to oversee a new Sweetie Pies restaurant. That same month, burglars broke into Robbie Montgomery's home. More than $200,000 in cash and other valuables were stolen from the resident. Now, Norman had jewelry, fur coats, computers, TV scripts, and recording equipment stolen from his mother's home, as well as Music Master. Now, he blamed Andre for the burglary, who left the area shortly after the crime. Now, Tim said the family hired a private investigator to locate Andre, and he told people they were looking for him. From the stand, Tim said he never told anyone that he wanted his nephew harmed or killed. Now, Andre returned to St. Louis in March 2016, and Tim said he was notified on March 6th. Now, Tim said it had been 9 to 10 months since he last saw his nephew. He said Andre had grown and put on weight. At no point did he want to kill or harm his nephew. Now, learning his nephew was back in town, Norman said he kept his normal schedule. He would fly back to St. Louis on March 13th and 14th to visit Sweetie Pie's location in town, empty their safes on Monday, and make bank deposits. Now, federal prosecutors alleged that Tim arranged Montgomery's murder for hire and that $450,000 insurance benefit, of which Norman was the sole beneficiary. Norman was one of 4 people indicted in the conspiracy. The gunman, Travail Hill, pleaded guilty in June 2022 to 1 count of murder for hire and 1 count of conspiracy to commit murder for hire. And he'll be sentenced on September the 20th. Now, Tim testified he did not order anyone to pay Hill $5,000. Now, Terica Ellis, an exotic dancer in Memphis, Tennessee, was accused of setting Andre up and tipping off Norman and others about Andre's location prior to the murder. Now, Ellis, she also pleaded guilty in July of 2022 to 1 count for murder for hire conspiracy. She will be sentenced on October 26th. Now, Tim said he met Ellis at East St. Louis strip club in 2009. Months later, they began an on and off again sexual relationship. However, Tim testified that those encounters were not free. He said he paid Ellis $200 to $300 each time they had sex. Now, after Welcome to Sweetie Pie's debuted on TV, the cost of their sexual encounters increased to between $700 to $1,000. Norman said he routinely see women at the Chase Park Plaza Hotel in the Central West End. He said he would use burner phones to keep his fiancée at the time from finding out about his infidelities. Now, Yagman, who is the insurance man, was indicted in August of 2020 on 1 count of conspiracy to commit wire and mail fraud, and he pleaded guilty in July of 2022. He'll be sentenced on October 26th. Now, prosecutors allege Norman conspired with Yagman to fraudulently obtain the life insurance policy on Andre. That policy contained a $200,000 base with a $200,000 accidental death rider that would pay out if Montgomery died of anything beside natural causes, and a $50,000 10-year term rider that would pay out if Montgomery died within the decade of the policy being approved. Now, Norman said he did not fill out the life insurance application. Now, defense attorney Leonard implied Yagman, an associate of his, were the ones who filled out the forms and kept him in the dark. Now, after testifying for several hours, Tim cross-examined was brief, about 10 minutes. Now, prosecutors pointed out that American Express had won a debt judgment against Tim in September 2015 for over $200,000. They also inquired about the burner phones. Now, earlier today, Melody Calvert, an executive producer on Welcome to Sweetie Pie's, testified cast members were required to wear wireless mics while taping episodes of the show. Now, Calvert said that the cast was told their phones must be on speaker while using them on TV cameras could record the conversation. However, Calvert told the court some in the cast would occasionally use prepaid phones for personal conversations away from the camera. Prosecutors asked Tim why did he give Terica Ellis a prepaid phone if she wasn't a cast member on the show. Now, closing arguments are expected on tomorrow. The jury will begin deliberations afterwards. Now, you see where this is going, guys. Tim is trying to say that he paid Terica Ellis for a meeting with her and having sex with her. So that's why he gave her the burner phone. And that's why he gave Terica the money. But he's saying, oh, he didn't give the shooter of Andre any money, and even saying that he didn't fill out the insurance policy. He don't know where that came from. The insurance guy who he's close friends with, who he's talking to, who he's been quoted to text. I don't think Andre gonna make it to 6 months, bruh. But now he's trying to blame him on writing the insurance, not himself, when he is the sole beneficiary of the insurance, and he thinks that the, you know, jury will believe that. Well, I don't know, guys, but I think Stevie Wonder can even see through this, honey. Tim lying his ass off. That's what Tim is doing. And Tim gonna get what Tim deserves. Now, even if these jurors say he's not guilty, I don't care. God don't like ugly, and Tim is gonna pay. He's gonna pay one way or the other, cause God don't like ugly. And if he think he can get away with murdering his little nephew, he's not gonna be able to do that. God ain't gonna let them do that. So, like I say, everything wraps up Wednesday, which is tomorrow. So, we should know by before the end of by the end of the week what Tim Norman fate will be. And yes, you will hear it right here at Tim Norman #Justice for Andre headquarters. Right here. Alright, guys, press that comment button. I would love to hear your comments. That's it for me. Thank you so very much for watching my video. I hope that you will like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And as always, imparting. Be blessed, y'all.